the plan from Republicans right now, the bill that they have put forward. And we're talking about some of the leading names here in the conservative world. We got James Langford, we got Murkowski, we got Collins, Blackburn, Moreno, Kramer, Cassidy, Katie Britt, John Husted, and John Corwin, as well as Peter Welch, who's Democrat in Vermont, saying it is time to at least co-sponsor this bill. It's 2 pages. It's right here. I mean, almost a page and a half. If when I was a professor, briefly, college professor, if you had turned this in, I would have said, this is fake 2 pages. This is about a half a page. It's about a half a page of content. I could read this to y'all in about 45 seconds, if that. Essentially, it just says, let's keep SNAP funded. SNAP, of course, the food stamp program. I think we have a warped view on the amount of people that use this service. There are plenty of people that call in, plenty of people that support, who listen, who watch, who are reliant on some of these special services and need them. And you have some of the leading Republicans, and Marsha Blackburn will be on this show tomorrow. Of course, she was part of that as well, saying it's time to at least, if we're not going to stop the shutdown, let's keep the funding going for SNAP. And I have a question for you who are all watching on YouTube. You can simply put yes or no. Do you think that this simple 2-page bill needs to be passed to continue SNAP funding? Of course, that is essentially food stamp funding for people so they don't go hungry here in America. And it feels like this may be one of those moments where they hopefully could be some bipartisan support.
Yes, you're 100% correct on that. And the issue, Logan, is there's now a proposal to end, at least to get this funding in place. And if the Democrats don't agree to it, that tells you exactly they're using the American people as a ploy here. And that's outrageous. And again, our government affairs team, you just heard from Mark on the broadcast, we're on top of this. This is a good solution. Let's see if we can get it through. And if not, it falls on the Democrats. Yeah, not all of them, because a number of them have joined with us on this.
Yes, quite a few. And look, we have at least one co-sponsoring it. We'll see where those votes end up. And I'm hoping this is it. And also, of course, for our air traffic controllers. I know that Ted Cruz has put that. Yeah. I think, Dad, as someone who flies a lot, we all fly a lot. There's really very little more important jobs out there than keeping our skies safe.
You're 100% correct. And that needs to be rectified immediately. Hopefully this will get them to the table. There's a clean bill on there. We'll see what happens, but it's politics at its worst when it doesn't get done.
Let's see here. Let's go to Paul. A little bit different. Let's go Paul in Texas. Go ahead.
Hey, I know this isn't popular, but I disagree with this single source bill. You're going to reward 2 million people that, for the most part, don't even pay into the tax system. But those that do fund those type of programs with their federal taxes are the ones that are being punished and not getting paid. Now, I by no means want to see anybody go hungry. I mean, let's be honest, SNAP is one of the most corrupt programs in our federal government. However, at the end of the day, if they tie that to air traffic controllers, the military, and federal workers, I have absolutely no problem with it. But if you give them single source bills, you're rewarding the Democrats by allowing them to pick and choose. Because let's be honest, once the American people realize that they could vote to be funded through the Treasury, they're going to vote for those that feed them. They're like a stray dog. You feed them once, and they're always going to come back.
Paul, I think a lot of people feel that way. That's why I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak. And I understand the frustration here. And it is 2 separate bills. You are right. There's the air traffic. I want to make sure we're clear about that. The air traffic funding bill by Ted Cruz, and then the SNAP funding bill. These aren't all looped together. These are 2 separate things. The SNAP funding, I think it does have more of a chance of getting through than the FAA, the air traffic control bill, which is unfortunate. I think both are, the bill is the Keep America Flying to keep us safe in the air. I think that's important. Of course, you have Keep SNAP funded. Both are separate. Paul, I understand the frustration with it. I understand you thinking that that's corrupt. And I'm not saying there isn't that happening here. And maybe some of the food that gets funded is not great for everybody. And there's a lot of issues with that people have with the SNAP situation. I side with this, which is we are doing this, and it's not like we have taken away this. It exists. So if it exists, and we've been funding people for so long, and we have been helping people out with food assistance, I don't believe we should be taking it away. And, again, it may not be the most Republican thing, the most small government business thing, but I do feel like if we are going to have government funding of any of this, there are certain things I'm fine with. That's one of them. Like I said, funding the military and making sure that our military doesn't have to be on these systems, because they have had to be put on SNAP. They have had to be put through different dollars and delayed. And that's really heartbreaking. You've also seen some interesting things push forward in certain states where SNAP funding, when you're given your food, essentially your food allowance, your financial allowance for it, things like farmers markets, if you go to a farmers market, your money is doubled in certain areas. There have been certain things that we have done correctly depending on the state. I think that can happen even more so if we start talking about this. It becomes something that we don't just push under the rug. And what we're seeing right now is thousands of people, millions of people who this affects. But we are seeing tons of you who are even commenting here saying, yeah, I use SNAP benefits. And I think that's telling. But thank you, Paul, for calling. I appreciate it. I'm going to continue on. Let's take another call. Let's go to Charles in Georgia. Charles, go ahead.
I just see that what the Democrats are doing is what they always do. They create a crisis, which is what they've done here. And then they want these systems to fail. I don't believe they're going to budge on anything the Republicans put forth in standalone bills. The best thing that would do with that is to verify who's really causing this by making them to respond to these. And when they turn them down, hopefully they'll convince the news media that it wasn't the Republicans, because the Democrats will use this opportunity to make systems fail. They won't agree to anything, in my opinion.
100%.
And then they'll depend on the news media to spin it, to project what they've done back on the Republicans. And that's how they think they're going to win an election.
Charles, you're not wrong, okay? You're 100% right, which is this is manufactured. This is a created crisis. All Republicans did, we want to continue on what we're doing, and they're saying, no, that's not good enough. We need to go back. We need to fund Planned Parenthood. We need to do all the things that the American people voted for. But Charles, you're right. They're going to create this problem, and they are going to go to the news, and they're going to say, look at the ballroom construction. That's where the president's mind's at. He's focused on the ballroom where all these people are starving. And of course, now they've had their feet put to the fire a little bit right now because you have a bill that says, none of that matters right now. Let's keep Americans eating. Let's keep the skies safe. And you're right. There's a good chance, sadly, there's a good chance that those fail just because of who is listed on this. Who wants to get it done? James Lankford, Marsha Blackburn, Katie Britt. Names that if you're a Democrat, you don't typically care for. Now, can we push across party lines? I sure hope so. But you're right. You shouldn't necessarily hold your breath on it. It's not 100%.